So, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. I waited all the semester to this moment, today, because it's the end of the class. Also, it's the start of the summer and the field work and also Tropilunch. So today I will share this community forest case about forest valorization and community development that I studied in my master's degree. But before I get there, I want that you say in one word what is imagery representing. In one word, actually.
Rich guy believes in God.
Yeah, one word or two words. Too much. Religion or God? Deforestation. Logging. Tropical hardwoods.
And money.
Money. Tropical hardwood. Money.
For some people,
Progress. For you is progress? Not for you. What means for you? What's the first word that came out in our mind?
Potential.
Potential.
globalization,
Globalization.
illegal,
Illegal. Roads. Anyone else? Yes. Okay. So this is interesting. Okay. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for your word too. But for a lot of people, this image represents deforestation and destruction, all right? For me, it illustrates one way to avoid that deforestation. It might be not interesting, but harvesting timber in the tropics can actually conserve forests and generate socio-economic benefits. I'm talking about sustainable forest management. It means planning all activities before beginning logging to log and using proper techniques to avoid negative impact on the forest, maximize profits, and protect the loggers. Here is a forest under this sustainable forest management regime. In this landing, all right, they stop the timber, and here we have a road. Can you see this road? It's hard to see, all right? So here, this is a road, a forestry road, all right? So this is a sustainable forest management region. And in the Amazon region, we have different actors that can do that. For example, government, which is not illegal, but also private companies and communities. And my focus here is on the traditional communities that have been harvesting forest products for a long time, by generation. But only for the past 2 or 3 decades, global policy trend is transferring ownership, forest ownership, or forest management rights from governments to local communities. Because communities have equal or better capabilities to manage and protect their forests than governments and the private sector. And community-based forest management is being adopted by government and international organizations has a broad strategy to conserve forest research and promote rural development. However, community-based forest management have had mixed results in terms of success. So during my master's degree, I asked it, under what circumstances can community-based forest management be implemented? And looking for some answers, I found a lot of studies talking about two collaborative forms of social environment governance that emerged from the recognition that no single agent or actor has all the capabilities and resources to address environment challenges. Thus, the multi-partner governance emerged as an alternative that can ensure research complementary, social learn, knowledge sharing, and a different perspectives to deal with this environment and social issues. So in my study, I argue that partnerships can be an important dimension of social environment governance to ensure community-based forest management. But to what extent partnerships have been effective to forest conservation and community development in the tropics? To try to answer this question, I chose this case, which traditional communities and external actors, agents, are working together in a sustainable use protect area in Brazil. So this is the Tapajós National Forest. Is a protected area in Brazil, which can be similar with the national parks in US. But the difference is that here is a public area governed by the state, but you have people living inside this area, the traditional communities. The Tapajós National Forest has 500,000 hectares. It's a huge area, within 24 communities, traditional communities, and more than 3,000 inhabitants living along the Tapajós River here. This is the communities, the 24 communities there. You can see, all right? Mm-hmm. And people there have some diverse productive and economic activities, has agriculture for subsistence, community-based tourism, here is the bottom, fishing, forest products, has oils and latex, and as well as timber. And briefly about the historical process there, this park was created during the 70s, during the dictatorship, the Brazilian dictatorship. In that moment, the state just ignored people living inside this area. Some years later, during the 1990s, the federal government, in partnership with an international donor, invited a company to implement timber management there. People from this park, the traditional communities, didn't agree to that decision, and they started the movement with the local labor union, and some NGOs to have the right to manage their forest instead of the timber company, because the timber company was from there. And after years fighting, they got the recognition from the federal state to manage their natural resources, including the timber. So timber management in that area is the main activity in terms of earning profits. To do it, the traditional communities, people created a community-based co-op to harvest and sell wood. The name of this co-op is Conflona. So I say Conflona co-op. So Conflona manages more than 1,000 hectares per year, the first column, and the second, the first. And Conflona per year, yeah. And also they have been trading wood in the local and regional market for 10 years, a long time, so that's it. In this table, also we can see the increased managed area and the increased revenues here. So in 2014, they earned almost $2 million with the timber management. Conflona also generates more than 200 local jobs, and only the traditional people living there can be employed in this co-op. They created this rule to benefit all the local families and in generating income from them. And also they have some few external employees, has the lawyer and the forest engineer, but it's only 2 or 3 external employees. And the best part of this story is that this thing. So the way the Conflona distributes its revenues, with the support of the partners, the co-op created different funds. So one of them is to offer community assistance. This one. So they give 50% from the earnings, the profit, to this fund. So with this fund, they buy, for example, water pump for the communities, or building infrastructure in the communities. So now there are communities in Tapajós National Forest assessing this fund and invest into to produce and sell products as fruit pulp, produce vegetable oils, plant fats, things like that. And other fund is the healthcare here. It benefits all communities of the Tapajós National Forest, And with this fund, they maintain the main road inside the forest to access the urban area. So now it's easier to rural population go to the cities, access the urban facilities, as the hospital, that is really important for them. And also to sell their agriculture products in the city. And last but not least, the Conflona has this fund to promote education and technical assistance, this one here. There are men and women receiving financial research support from Conflona to do forest engineer and administration courses. So with that, traditional communities members are getting professional education. So I consider this financial management approach innovative. And indeed, this model is being disseminated through the Brazilian Amazon by the government, the NGOs, and also by the Conflona. And consider the success of this co-op, other traditional peoples working in community forestry are promoting their models regarding lessons from the Tapajós National Forest. They are creating room to apply the similar multi-partner governance process in other sustainable protected areas. People working in Conflona and living in Tapajós National Forest are working with dignity and have this feeling of belonging, as you can see. And the ongoing community-based forest management in the Tapajós National Forest is a result of a collective action involving stakeholders such as the government agencies, NGOs, the local university, the local timber industry, local communities, and community-based co-op. The multi-partner governance process was initiated 20 years ago when the communities needed support to start the logging. And two stakeholders got involved because of their common goal to conserve forests and promote human well-being. In my study, I found that through the years, Conflona had 22 partners, and some of them are more close to the co-op, which I named the circle of trust. So this figure is terrible. I did this social network analysis. The software is really good in the mathematics things, but not in design, for sure. But I put this figure just to show you that they have, this is Conflona here, the tie here, and they have some partners really close to Conflona, like the university, the NGOs, the government, but also they have some partners that are further away from the Conflona, but they have an important role to link this network with other networks and bring more idea and more partners to this network, right? So, yeah, and but there is a problem in this network because it's centered in Conflona. So as you can see, the ties is only between Conflona and the partners, not among all the partners. So this is a fragile network, you know what I mean? All right. Just log myself here. Okay. And yeah, in this density that is really low, it's bad. It represents a weakness because the actors don't have ties among them that explain. And besides that, Conflona is considered as a successful case of community forestry, and each partner, including the co-op, has a role in this result. For example, some NGOs offer technical, administrative, and juridical support to the community members, and with this support, the co-op adopt this collaborative and participative way in decision-making process. So as you can see here, these assemblies where people just go there and decide things, planning for the next year, and make decisions together, involve everybody from the Tapajós National Forest and from the co-op too. And this kind of a process, they decide after years discussing about that with the partners and support from the NGOs and the government. And also, yeah, so the NGOs training the works to apply reduced impact logging techniques. That is really important to avoid impacts on the forest and also protect the loggers, the works. So here have some images about that. People training, from the NGO training the community members. The government agencies offering institutional support to Conflona, and the local university is doing scientific studies to improve wood production as the use of grains to do furniture. So here you have two guys from the university, the professor and the PhD student. So they developed this work to use the grains from the logging and do this kind of furniture that is really beautiful and good. It's hardwood. And here is Leonardo Pacheco, right, alumni. Yeah, we did this intercambio exchange thing with people from from other sustainable use protected area in Conflona. So it was really nice. And also they employ human in this place that they do this furniture. So they try to do this balance between gender balance, you know. And as the theory says, the partnership theory says, partnerships are based on a mutual collaboration, which is true in the case that I studied. Conflona received a lot of support from these kind of actors, from these kind of partners. On the other hand, Conflona gives support to its partners too. One example is this base to control and monitoring illegal activities inside the park. So the government agency ICMBio that is responsible to control illegal activities inside the park. They don't have money to build this kind of base because they have these financial constraints, you know, like the government. So Conflona has the wood, has the material to process the wood, and has some money, and they just give some money in the wood to ICMBio building this base. And here we have the guy from ICMBio, from the government agency, and all these guys from the communities. They did together. So partnership is to give, but also is to receive, but also to give something. So that is the theory says, and we see in this case. Yeah. And yeah. And so this case shows us that each partner can offer its expertise and research as human, financial, and material to work together, promoting community forest management with positive outcomes. Outcomes has production diversification. Just remember this fund, the community assistance. With this one, Conflona is investing in different communities to produce a bunch of products from the forest, as you can see here in this photo, and also from here that I have my stuff. So they had this, they had this kind of shoes made by latex. It's really good and nice, I think. And also this kind of bags, you know, I had this one for 5 years. It's really good and beautiful. So they are doing all these steps with non-timber forest products and this necklace shoe and all these products is really nice and beautiful. And this kind of investment is going so well that in 2013 they opened this store in Santarém, a main city in Western Pará state. And in the same year, Conflona got its FSC certification, which recognized that their forest management is providing economic benefits, respecting social aspects and also protect the environment. And the community-based forest management in the park is also mitigating environmental degradation. Since the co-op was created in 2004, but they started logging here in 2006. So since the co-op was created, illegal logging and deforestation has decreased drastically there. So as you can see here, now it's 0. And tree semi-bio, this is really important, it's really good because the traditional communities help to protect and monitoring their forest resources and biodiversity. And just to compare with other national forests in the same region, in black we have the Tapajós National Forest, and in the other colors is the same kind of protected area, national forest, in the same region, that they have this challenge to avoid deforestation and illegal log. And in this case, they don't have forest management there. They don't have communities there to help to avoid this kind of degradation.
Your table had revenue from forest with timber collection. It showed a pretty rapidly increasing trend.
Yeah.
That doesn't show up.
No, this is deforestation.
Okay, so I guess it would be
It's
forest degradation.
Because forest management is not deforestation, is not forest degradation different. So this is the illegal log and deforestation open area to do agriculture things. I don't know if I asked you.
Oh, yeah, I understand. At some point, even a management plan would be forest degradation.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. You have a lot of critical things about that, yeah, for sure. But also, what I'm trying to say, to show and say that, are you good there after this one? Because with this one, this is good to say that, because in this region, they have a lot of problems with deforestation. So this is the Transamazônica Road, and this is the BR-63 road that link Mato Grosso to Pará, to Santarém. And here is the Tapajós National Forest. So we have, and this is the rural settlement. So this kind of land use should be not deforestation inside too, but they have this kind of problem. But here, Conflona, Tapajós National Forest is kind of a barrier to deforestation in that region. That deforestation rate is really high. And this is here is in, why is red? Because it's the communities, and this is not part of the Tapajós here. This part here is not part of the protected area. So yeah, for sure, forest management had some criticals because you just logging timber, you open some areas, but if you think about it's 1 or 3 trees per hectare, not too much, and you use techniques to avoid impacts on the forest. So using the forest in this way, you can avoid more deforestation, you can avoid more illegal log, you can control logging,
Yeah,
you know?
It looks like the trend was rapid. You've got to
Yeah.
revenue in that last year. That was like basic.
Mm-hmm.
Because the value.
No, because at the beginning they started with small areas because they want to learn how to do that, and each year by year they just increased the area because they had more people interested to do that, and also yeah.
There is
Because-
some interesting variation in the dollars per cubic meter temperature, but also. Anyway, sorry, I just was curious.
Okay, but we can come back there after. Yeah, just discuss more about that. But it's really important to discuss. And yeah, so this kind of activity, the timber management, is helping to avoid deforestation and illegal log inside the Tapajós National Forest. So it's like a barrier to So that in this region, that is the percentage rate is high, that you can see in this map. So yeah, all about this case, maybe it's beautiful, right? The revenues, the increase the logging, all these things, the participatory process, but this multi-partner governance also has some constraints, some challenge. And because of the cooperative success in increasing its revenues and generate more jobs, ICMBio, the government agency, wanted to increase the area of managed forests to generate further jobs and revenues. So the problem is that the co-op plans its strategies in a general assembly involve all its members, which is more than 200 people. So the pressure from ICMBio into the leadership committee from the cooperativa, the Conflona, was starting this conflict between all the parties. And in weakening this process, weakening the relationship process between the parties. And I found in my study that there is no planning and communication flow between the partners, the 22 partners. So there is not a clear definition about the role of each partner in this process. And at this stage, the lack of planning, communication, and transparency has created conflict between them. And to deal with those uneven power dynamics and to improve the partnerships, I recommend some actions that can be adopted by the actors to create and maintain good partnerships. For example, communication and transparency are key factors that influence the success of the governance process. Together, the partners should align their expectations in the planning stage, the planning phase. So they should align all their expectations and define the results, the expected results, and then plan appropriate actions, activities, role of the partners, and the deadline. And one or two partners, for example, ICMBio and Conflona, should facilitate the process of monitoring this plan to allowing the communication and information flow from all the partners, to all the partners. And the partners should frequently meet, for example, at each 6 months, to evaluate the process and adapt if necessary. So this is some recommendation that I gave to them to avoid this kind of conflicts between the partners. So these recommendations can strengthen the social capital between partners and improve the multi-partner governance to benefit both forest conservation and community development. Finally, we can say that the multi-partner process, governance process, is allowing forest conservation, job generation, income, and investment in healthcare, education, and infrastructure, professional education and infrastructure. And this case has a great potential to be disseminated in Brazil and the South, in the tropical South. And again, after this presentation, I want to say in one word what this image represents to you, if change or not. Resilience.
With community logs on it.
What was the last one? That was more than one word, okay.
Puzzle.
Puzzle, what?
Puzzlement.
Okay, thanks.
Health. Future.
'Future'. 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 'Fu
have time. I did this really fast. No? Community? Fine. Okay, thank you, Patricia. Nice. So I did the same question in an undergraduate class, global forest class that Karen gave. So before my presentation, the undergrads they said words like logging, profit, development, industry, massive because the wood is really huge, money, production too, but also this market-oriented approach. So this is really interesting because it's undergrad from the United States, I think mostly, right? And after my presentation, they said like words like education, potential, community, access, sustainability, beneficial progress. So they changed a little here, this approach, after my presentation. And here, you said words like deforestation, logging, tropical hardwood, connection, because the road, I think, globalization, because about the market, all right, Natalie, I don't know if it's sense, illegal, and after, we have words like social well-being, because the education process, because the healthcare process, maybe resilience, I don't know why resilience, you want to explain?
Because it's or
Mhm. Nice. Puzzle, future, community, cooperative, process, connection again. So yeah, change a little too, right? Interesting. So with that, I finished my presentation. Yeah, and thank you.